Welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you've been with me for a while, you know that it's been a while since I've recorded something. And you probably remember this space as Get the Pen with our Get the Pen moments. It began as a place where I encouraged people to write their stories because I believe that every life has a story worth telling, and I still believe that. However, over time, something became clear, and I just want to shift focus. We'll still talk about Get the Pen things and books and how important our stories are, but it's all tied in um, because my work isn't just about writing books, it's about helping people navigate life. After more than 20 years serving as a hospice chaplain, sitting with families through grief, hope, forgiveness, and some of life's most sacred moments, I realized that everything I create has always pointed toward one thing: comfort. That's what I do. And there's a scripture that I love that says, "The God of all comfort will comfort you, and you will be able to comfort others with the comfort that you have received." Not the comfort that avoids things, hard things, but the comfort that helps us to walk through them. And that's why this space has a new name. Welcome to the Comfort Pod. I think there are moments in life that no one else can live for us. People can love us, they can encourage us, they can walk beside us, but there are some questions, some healing, some growth, and that happens in a quiet place within ourselves. And that's what I mean by the Comfort Pod. It's not about being alone, it's about becoming. And I just wanted to evolve into something more about comfort. And when you think of pod, now keep in mind the comfort pod is it's not pod is not short for podcast. I'm talking about a P. No, a pod like a pea pod. And when I think of a pod, I think of a seed pod. Everything needed for new life is already there in the seed. It simply needs the right conditions to grow. And I believe that is true for us too. And I want to thank a friend who encouraged me to start back recording, Lorenzo Jenkins of Jenkins Transport. Jenkins Transport. So I'm going to say brought to you by Jenkins Transport because he really encouraged me to resume. He's an over the road truck driver, drives all over the country with his own trucking company, and he told me that he missed listening to my YouTube videos while he was on the road. So this is for you, Mr. Jenkins. Um, so I'll just periodically talk about different things, and I hope that every topic I choose will point you toward comfort. And that's the whole idea. Seeds of comfort is what I want to sow into your life to help you find peace, to help you find comfort through whatever it is you're facing in life right now. So I had so many topics rolling around in my head that the hard part today was narrowing down which one will I talk about because I know I can't talk about everything all at once. But one thing I want to address during this time, and then of course we'll address many other things as time goes on, but I want to call this Let Him Cook. Let Him Cook, and let me explain what I mean by that. There are a lot of people who get really emotional when they think about the leadership of our country. They get angry, they start name calling, and quite literally, I think some people's blood pressure runs up when they think about what's happening with the country and how things seem to be dismantling and going in reverse, and things seem pretty chaotic. But we can't always go by what we see. I want you to keep that in mind. Now, I'm not saying I support or agree with anyone. Let's get that straight first of all. This is not about, do I support this person? Do I not support it? That doesn't matter. What matters is that no matter what the circumstances are, no matter who's in leadership Where do you find comfort? How do you find peace in the middle of the dismantling of whatever? And maybe, and I don't know, and keep in mind, this is not professional advice. I don't know. I don't have any inside information. These are just my thoughts and my opinions that I'm sharing. This is for entertainment purposes, just opinions. Remember that. So sometimes I think systems may need to be broken. Sometimes things can't get better until they're broken and rebuilt. Maybe that is what is happening. I'm not claiming to know that that is what happened, but perhaps if it is, if things need to be dismantled, and many have complained over the years, this has not been a perfect system ever. So I wonder sometimes, why are we trying to protect such a broken system? Why are we defending trying to think of the word, defending not chaos, that's pretty strong, but dysfunction, that's the word I'm thinking. Some of us seem to be defending or trying to preserve dysfunction because there has been dysfunction over the years, and now that the system is breaking, we also want to complain about the thing that is breaking the dysfunction. Now, we don't have to like the person that's breaking the system. We're probably not supposed to, okay? Because they were sent here with an assignment to tear the system down. We got to let them cook. Let them cook. We can't interrupt what God is doing. We can't interrupt God's work. We can kick and scream, which a lot of us are, kicking and screaming, running our blood pressure up, stressing out, getting hypertension over something that's outside of our control. How do you find comfort? You let it go. Let them cook. Let whatever will be. Now, there are some things we can have a hand in changing, and some things we just have to leave alone. Think about the Serenity Prayer. Go study that. And maybe this is one of those things that we can't change. I don't know. Change what you can, but when you can't, leave it alone and have the wisdom to know the difference when you need to just back off and let somebody cook. What I'm thinking about is, remember in the Bible, if you're familiar, remember Pharaoh, and remember how God hardened his heart and had the people of Israel in captivity, and when Moses was like, let my people go, but God hardened Pharaoh's heart. I'm sure they hated Pharaoh, but Pharaoh had a role to play. He had a job to do. He had to be notorious and hated by the ones that were being held captive. But as much as they hated him, it didn't change the fact that he was doing what he was sent to do. Now, you might hate the leadership of this country, but God may be hardening the hearts of leaders. God has a plan. And maybe this disruption and the changes that are happening that don't make sense to us could be a part of that plan, and we're speaking against it. And I'm not saying we need to support it or support foolishness, but we might have to step back and let them cook. Let the system fall. How is it going to fall and we keep trying to prevent it from falling? Maybe it is supposed to fall. And if you don't want it to fall, why do you love it so much? Was it so good to you that you want to preserve it and keep the status quo because it's comfortable, because it's familiar? These are just things to think about. I'm not telling you how to think, what to think. I'm not saying what I agree or don't agree with. I'm just giving you points to ponder, things to think about, to open up your mind, to expand the way you think, or your perspective or point of view. Just think outside of the box. because God may do things in an unconventional way. Remember, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. He's not going to handle things the way we would. And we don't know whose heart he's touching or whose heart he's hardening, because certain things have to happen in order for something else to happen. In order for the system to be rebuilt, maybe it needs to be broken. And we don't like for things to be broken. And we're trying to protect the thing that is being broken. But maybe we need to let him cook. Maybe we need to let the system fall apart and be dismantled. Maybe. Just think on these things, just points to ponder. Again, I'm not saying how we should think. I'm not saying what I support and what I don't support. But I am saying that God in his word said that he would take the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Not everything is going to make sense to us. Not everything is going to feel good to us. And the dismantling of this system may not feel good right now, but that doesn't mean in the end we win. It doesn't mean that we don't win, okay? In the end, we do win. In the end, we do win. The glory will be greater than the struggles that we're facing right now. So don't let this stuff drive you crazy. Don't let this stuff run your blood pressure up. Don't let this stuff turn you into a person who's name calling and being super critical of things that you don't have all the information on. We have some information, but remember, ours is limited. We can only see so much. And we're speaking against things that could be the thing that is an answer to prayer. It just may not be what we like. It may not be who we like. It may not be who we support. But that doesn't mean God won't use it to bring about his will. So think on that. Think on that. I'd like to know your opinions, your thoughts. Am I way out in left field? Am I losing my mind? I don't know some days. I could be losing my mind. But these are things I think about, and I'm just thinking out loud, and I go down rabbit holes. But this is one of the things that is on my mind a lot, and that we speak against things that we don't even know. And I'm sure Pharaoh was spoken against. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. But what I am saying is that God had a hand in it. God hardened his heart. And we don't like that. You know, none of us even want to have a hardened heart, but sometimes it's necessary in order to get certain things done. Some things have to happen. Jesus had to go to the cross. So somebody had to do something to make that happen. And it was something that we didn't like. And sometimes it's things that we don't like that have to bring about the things that are a part of the plan. Think on these things, and I hope that you find comfort. This has been the Comfort Pod. Have a great one.